guys, welcome back to our channel, the Patterson's family. This is your girl Toya P, back again with another hit video. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button down below. Now today's day I'm going to get into the brands that I use for Junior and what I use for his body and stuff like that, and what I like to use. So if you guys are ready to get into the video, come on, let's get into it. Now the first thing I'm going to talk about is the Vaseline that I like to use for him when I give him a bath. This is what I use for his hair. It makes his hair not dry. You know, it gives it the curls and the style that I'm looking for. And it also grew his hair back through the Kato-Crap, because my baby, his hair was missing all edges around. And he only had little hair on the top. And I'm like, why is my baby losing hair? Like, what is going on with his skin? You know, so I use this for his hair, and it actually grew back. So I like this. And then I also use this as a detangler, because he doesn't like his hair getting combed unless I use this. So put this in their hair, spray it with a little this and a little bit of that Vaseline, brush it with their baby brush, good to go. And another thing I like to use for him is these two brands. One is the moisturizer for eczema, and the other one is Daily Moisturizer Lotion, and they're both is from Aveeno Baby. So I love this when it came to him having the Kato-Crap, the eczema, the itchy skin, the dry skin, you know, whatever irritation you think is going on with your baby. I recommend using these because it helped with him a lot, and I love these brands. I use it every day when I wash him up, when I give him a bath, you know, and he loves it. As soon as I put it on there, he's just happy. He's good to go. I also like to use this to wash his hair when I give him a bath, because it just makes his hair just feel so clean and so soft, and it smells so great. So I like to use this for his hair. I also like to use the lotion as well for his skin, but I don't use it for his whole body. So what I would do is I would rub it on his neck, his feet, his hands, and just a little behind the ear, and sometimes on the chest, and he's good to go. That's all he needs. But I like this. It smells so good. And another thing I like to use for him is this body wash, because like I said, his skin is so sensitive that I have to be careful with using fragrance when it comes to washing him up, especially down in his private areas and stuff like that. So I use this. This helps. I also like to use the ointment that they have for his booty, because it helps for like his bowel movements and stuff like that when he's trying to use it. And you know how some babies have like that redness and irritation from them when they're done? This helps, clears it right on up. So I love it. And this is what it looks like in the inside. It has like that, almost that Vaseline feeling, and it helps with scratches and scars. Like, you know, if they scratch their skin with their nails, I kind of put that on there and it heals right up so fast. I also like to use this for their diaper rash as well. It just heals a lot faster. Once it heals, I stick with the ointment. I don't have to use this as much. So I recommend this too. I also like this as well because it's small, it's handy, and I can carry it for like the doctor's appointment. So as you can see, I just love the ointment. So I keep that in handy. Then I also use this for him, because when it comes to babies with their teeth growing in their gums, you want to make sure that they have healthy growing teeth. So I use these. They also come in like a teething ring with the little brushes on there. So he likes those. I use those. So anything that comes with, has anything to do with this, I recommend and I use. So I also like to use this for him. This is for like babies that's like 6 months and up, that actually glows in the dark. I can rinse it off. I can put it in the freezer and give it to him, and he just loves it. Like when he wakes up, he moves around, this is what he looks for. Like this is his go-to. So that's what I like to give him. And then I also like to give him this baby powder, which is by Johnson as well. I don't pour it directly on his skin. What I do is I'll pour it on his hand, and I'll kind of like dab it on the spots on his body of where I want it. If you do accidentally pour it on their skin, I would recommend you get like a thin blanket and kind of just dab it, so that way there's not agitating them, because you don't want to agitate the baby's skin too much. I want to get into the milk in just a second. I want to show you guys the baby wipes that I like to use. It's fragrance free. You know, I use these for like when he's eating and stuff like that. On his skin, it doesn't burn them, doesn't irritate them. You know, when babies eat their food, you want to wipe their face, and they don't like it because it agitates their skin. It makes it red. It gives it that rashy feeling. This prevents it. I like these. Anything that's unscented, I use for him, especially for his bottom and his face. When I was pregnant with him, I love this because I was able to hear his heartbeat. And a lot of times I still use it every now and then just to hear what his heart sounds like. I love this. It came in handy because a lot of times I was scared as if I didn't hear him or feel him move. So I was always skeptical on what would happen. So I kept that handy. That always helped me. I also like to keep this handy. I know some people like to use the abdominal one and the forehead one. I prefer the underarm because they can be asleep or they can be tossing over. You know, this ain't gonna go anywhere. It stays put and it still takes the accurate temperature. So I prefer this. I also prefer Tylenol to use for my baby, especially when it comes to teething, achy pains, high fevers, anything that you feel that's unordinary with your baby. I recommend giving them just this much. Not even barely the dosage that they ask for. I mean, it's a baby. Baby don't really need that much, you know. I give it to him. He's not sleepy. He's not drowsy. You know, he's still up as if I never gave him anything. And it kind of helps him with his appetite. And I always think I don't need these as the months of him get bigger. But I always seem to need them for some reason because, you know, with babies in their milk, it sometimes gets in their lungs, I want to say. So this kind of helps clear it out as they get bigger. So I recommend keeping this in handy. I also use this to check their tonsils, to make sure that their teeth is growing right, make sure that his gums, to see if teeth is any teeth growing, because he does not like to show me his teeth. So I use this to see how many teeth he has coming in. That helps me. I want to get into the milk now. Now, when Junior was first born, the hospital recommended me this milk. And he ended up drinking this milk all the way up until they recalled it. And at first, I didn't know what recall was until I went to the store and I couldn't get this milk. And they kept trying to give me this milk. And I'm like, well, the doctors didn't give me this milk. I don't know what's going on with this milk. You know, what's the difference between this milk and this milk if it's formula? You know, I'm not understanding. I wasn't taking any chances when it came to the milk. So I put him on whole milk due to his nurse. So when I called the nurse, they told me that his weight was fine. He was healthy. So he was able to transition over to whole milk. So I wasn't taking any chances with this milk. It was bad enough when he was first born. He kept throwing up the milk that he was already drinking. Like, this milk made him throw up so bad. It was just everywhere. Like, I would pick him up to burp him, and the throw up would just be all over my back, all the back of my legs, all on the floor. And I didn't want to switch his milk, because I'm like, if this milk does it, the other milks might do it too. And I didn't want to chance his stomach getting tightened up or anything going on with his intestines to where he can't use the bathroom, because he was already struggling using the bathroom. So I didn't want to chance it with the milk, changing it. Because when you change the baby's milk, you never know. It could benefit or it cannot benefit. And that was a risk that I was just not willing to take. So I kept him on it until he was able to drink whole milk. But I prayed the whole way. And this is the water I ended up using for him, because this is the water that he prefers. My son is picky. He knows if I try to give him different water. Like, they have different baby water with like the pink top on it. He won't drink it at all. So this is what he likes. This is what he prefers. So this is what I recommend. Far as cereal, he doesn't really like the rice cereal or the multigrain very much. This is what he loves the most by Gerber. He loves the oatmeal kind. And the oatmeal is kind of good for like the oatmeal bath. Sometimes I give him oatmeal baths and stuff like that, and he loves it. I feed this to him with like different flavors of baby food, like the apple, the peach, the mango, you name it, you can put it in here, and they just love it with their milk. So that's what kind he likes, so that's what I stick with. When Junior was the baby, as far as like I said with the milk, I used to have to give him this, and that helped with like their gassiness when they weren't able to burp when they should. So I kind of put like this, a little couple drops in his bottle. I shook it up real good, and I let him drink it, and then I burped him for like a good 15-20 minutes, and it kind of eased his stomach to where he was able to sleep for a couple hours until he was able to wake back up again. Now, my baby has ear infections due to him teething right now, and his doctor recommended me to use this. Now, when I read the side effects on this, it told me that it will give your baby hearing loss. And hearing loss, that is not the risk that I'm trying to take with my baby. I am all for anything natural, and for some reason she would just not give me anything that I asked for. She always gives me the opposite that has chemicals. So I had to go upon myself and get sweet oil. I love sweet oil. You can put like a couple drops, maybe 1 or 2, 3 drops in their ear, maybe 3-4 times a day. And what it does is it loosens the wax in their ear to where you can actually take a Q-tip, because you can see the wax. You can take a Q-tip and you can just wipe it around, and you can just see the wax just loosening up on your baby's ear. So I recommend this because it helps with the baby ear. You don't have to worry about them tugging on their ear, playing with it. It actually heals their ear, and it makes it to where they actually can sleep through the night. It helps me. That's what I like to use because it helps me a lot. Trust me. Yeah, so far that's pretty much what all I have as far as the brands that I use for Junior and stuff like that. And if you want to see more as far as like the baby foods and what I feed him, I will do that on the next video. If you guys stay tuned, you know, just make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and them videos gonna keep coming back to back, back to back, back to back. But I thank you guys for enjoying watching me. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button down below. Like I said, this is the Pattersons family. I love you guys. Good night.